I'm the 5-Minute Professor, and today's lesson is on molasses. And you may have used molasses, maybe if you bake, maybe if you make your own barbecue sauce. It is thick, and it is slightly sweet, but also bitter. And it's a byproduct of the sugar-making operation, whether you're using cane sugar or sugar beets. Although, seriously, molasses is much better from sugar beets than it is from sugar cane, especially if you're going to use it for something. Except for that it's good. It's got a good, solid flavor, and it is thick, and it is dark, so it's good for coloring, too, much like caramel color can be used. Now, what is it? It is when you're making sugar, you boil the sugar out of the cane. When you're making molasses, you're still boiling it, but you're not scraping off the top. You're using what boils up, and it's darker, and it's thicker, and it's not as sweet because the crystallized sugar has been removed from the operation. So there's some sweetness left in the cane, and they'll get 3 processes out of this sugarcane. The last one is Blackstrap. Blackstrap molasses is bitter and thick, like motor oil, like used motor oil thick. And it is used for things like rye bread. It is used for porters. It is used for stouts. It is used for things which are dark and not terribly sweet. Barbecue sauces are another use for molasses. It is also, in this day and age, the primary way we get citric acid. Now, I know, citric, you're thinking citrus, because initially citric acid was drawn out using salts to draw out the citric acid, the salt that became a citric acid, from the rinds of limes and lemons, and predominantly lemons. But today, and actually they discovered this during the First World War, when access to the fruit that was used was disrupted because of the war, they also discovered that you could use microorganisms, bacteria, could be used to create citric acid. But they need to have a relatively dense food source, and what's used is molasses. So there's this microorganism, and it eats the molasses, and then it creates citric acid. So almost all citric acid that's used today is from a process involving molasses. Now, I say today because in the not terribly distant future, that is probably going to be surpassed by a synthetic citric acid. And it's used for an enormous number of things. But it is used in both food and cleaning products. That's citric acid. There are a lot of uses for molasses, including the fact that it's used to reinforce livestock feed because there's a lot of vitamins and minerals available in it, in addition to the calories that you'll find. It is also used in making jerky. It is a humectant, which is the opposite of a desiccant, so it adds moisture during the jerky making process. So if you have chewy jerky, they have probably used molasses to keep it moist. But my favorite way to use molasses? It's fermented to make rum. Perceptum, quispium, damnatium. Learn something, damn it. I'm the 5-Minute Professor, and thank you very much for listening to today's lesson. If you have any comments at all, please put them in the comments section down below. And of course, like it and subscribe to the channel. But most important, if you liked it, if you commented, and if you subscribed, tell your friends. Perceptum, quispium, damnatium. Learn something, damn it.